talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark the talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the McLean Talk program here on WZBP and WZOP, the voice of the Caribbean. We're also live on the McLean Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. This afternoon, Ms. Venessa, this afternoon we're going to speak about Wrangle and Tangle, plain Jamaican word, that is going on within the Jamaican Parliament. So many things going on. The opposition has a problem. The government and the opposition clash in Parliament over the tabling of the Integrity Commission report. Integrity Commission report. And we're going to speak to Ms. Venessa McLean. Venessa, you ready for us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Venessa McLean. I'm legal policy analyst by virtue of my training. And most of the fans would also know me as the daughter of legendary Ranchi McLean, veteran musician. And so I wear two hats today. I'm here speaking about current affairs. And of course, I put a lot of this in my music as well. You can check it out, and my writings as well. Yeah.
Yes, Vanessa, Miss McLean rather, based on what is going on in the Parliament right now of Jamaica, where the opposition is asking questions, and the speaker is saying to them rather, that she can't come out and tell the people of Jamaica or the Parliament what was discussed with both the Attorney General and the Speaker. From a legal perspective, tell us your views on it.
Well, as I describe myself as wearing many hats today, the Speaker of the House, if Mr. Tavares, could you remind me what's the name of the Speaker of the House?
Her name is Juliet Holness, wife of the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Okay. So
she's also a member of Parliament for West Rural St. Andrew.
Okay, so she wears that hat there. She's the Prime Minister's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she has been given this role. One thing I'd like to ask, though, I'm going to start right there.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone ever see a conflict of interest in her being given this role? Because in the entire history of Jamaica, we've never had a Prime Minister's wife as Speaker of the House.
Based on what I was told on this program by the opposition leader, Mark Golding, that it is not a conflict of interest. Under our constitution, there's a conflict of interest. A lot of Jamaicans see there's a conflict of interest, but he said under the constitution, if I'm quoting him properly, I'm sad to be corrected, it is not a conflict of interest at all.
Okay. Under the constitution, there is nothing in the constitution preventing her from being appointed under the constitution, which is the highest source of law.
Right.
However, though, does the public have a problem with this? Does the public see a problem? I'm talking about, okay, legally, there's nothing stopping it, but I want to ask, a moral dilemma is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Just a moral and a social dilemma.
Mm-hmm. Well, based on all of that, I raised the question many times about the idea of a Prime Minister's wife sitting in the Parliament. But we must remember also that she was elected as a member of Parliament by the people of West Rural St. Andrew. I have a problem with she being Speaker.
Okay, she was elected by the people. And so what I want to say to the people of Jamaica is when you are casting your votes, I would strongly suggest that you look at the role that people are playing and potential conflict of interest in the future.
Well, let me correct you with something there. They wouldn't know that she was going to be appointed speaker. Is when the prime minister win the election, the party win the election, they select their speaker. They select a cabinet. So when you're voting, you're not voting for them to select a cabinet per se, because at that time you're not going to know who they're going to select as a speaker.
What I am saying though,
Mhm.
you are right. You don't know, and it for the average man on the street in Jamaica to stretch his thoughts so far, it is possibly they wouldn't be thinking that way. But I'm just saying, once people get in power, this is an example of the fact that they can do whatever they want to do. Based on how our house is being run now, it seems like it's at that level. It's a friends and family club. To how things are going, because there's now an evident conflict of interest by virtue of who she is and her role with the public, with her constituency, and with her husband. And I want to know if the Constitution permits it, as you say, and what about standing orders? I'm just saying, in the future, going forward, if every prime minister is going to have their wife in the house to muzzle those who are seen to be conflicting with their husband, how is our parliament going to be free and fair? And does there need to be some standing orders or rules, or how do we really deal with this dilemma? Because how many years has this party gotten if they come back in power, and if she's still the speaker, is this going to continue?
Let me play something for you that created the clash in the Parliament of Jamaica yesterday. And by the way, there's fight going on in the House of Representatives here in the United States, where two senators out, poor Bernie Sanders is saying to the other senator, calm down, you're a U.S. senator. Anyway, we're talking about Jamaican politics. I want you to listen to this from in the Parliament of Jamaica yesterday.
It was leader of opposition business, Philip Paulwell, who again requested that MPs be given copies of the Attorney General's legal opinion. That opinion forms part of the documentation used by Speaker Holness in implementing new procedures for the tabling of special and annual reports from the Integrity Commission. Her ruling handed down last Tuesday is that the reports will first go to the Integrity Commission's Oversight Committee for review before tabling in Parliament. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck chided the opposition for continuing to disrespect the Speaker's ruling.
The House has a legal officer, and I saw the comments of the legal officer, and I think it was circulated to everyone. The Attorney General's opinion or contribution or brief is a matter for the Speaker. The Attorney General, with due respect, is not the attorney for Parliament, right? But it doesn't look good for you to be interrogating the Speaker inside the Parliament. You undermine the integrity of the Speaker when you start interrogating her in this case. It's not good, not good. And I would say, Madam Speaker, let's move on.
But opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, pushed back. He says the information provided by the Attorney General is important in understanding the Speaker's ruling.
We have seen the Parliamentary Legal Council, and that Parliamentary Legal Council has a right to opine. But we have an opinion from the government's chief legal advisor, and that opinion should be shared with us. The decision that you have made goes against years of convention of how matters should be dealt with in the House. Now, having done that, I am saying, share with us the thinking, the advice provided by the Attorney General, so we can understand the conclusion that you have come to.
Information Minister Robert Morgan also lashed the opposition for what he says is their attack on the House Speaker.
We have been subjected as a country to some very disgusting and inappropriate commentary by members of the opposition about the integrity and good sense of the Speaker, and I don't believe that this House should tolerate it. I do not believe. They have sought to caricature. Hold on. You can say anything where you want to say. They have sought to caricature the Speaker as hiding. They have sought to caricature the speaker as hiding reports.
Opposition leader Mark Golding says the matter concerns transparency. He says it's right and proper for the speaker to share the opinion of the Attorney General.
We have a right as members of parliament to know the contents of that opinion and whether or not the reasoning is sound as to how the change has been implemented, as to how these reports are to be treated with. My understanding is that it actually says that the prior convention was sound in law. There was nothing in the law that made it wrong for those reports to be tabled as soon as they come to parliament. And if that is the case, why are we departing from a sound convention that is in the interest of good governance and transparency? And why would anyone want to hide the advice that the speaker is relying on in making a ruling that affects all of us in here?
You know something? It is something need to be done. That is why I was saying to you earlier on, Council, that the former speaker, Marissa Dahl-Philibert, the question was asked by the opposition, why is it that they haven't tabled the IG report? And she said that she has to consult Jamaica's Attorney General. The Attorney General, by the way, and we must remind the Speaker of the House of Parliament, the goodly lady, Miss Juliet Holness, that both she and the Attorney General is paid by the taxpayers of Jamaica. And I believe, maybe I'm wrong, as a council, maybe you can correct me on this one, Ms. McLean. I believe that the answer that the Attorney General gave to the current Speaker of the House pertaining to the Integrity Commission tabling should be said in the Parliament of Jamaica. It was asked by the opposition party who represent the people of Jamaica in the Parliament. And I think she should have answered them there. Yes.
Conflict of interest with the Miss Holness, who has been put in a very conflicting position. But she's defending her husband and her political party very vigorously. And I don't see where the public is being put to the forefront in this entire dilemma. When you also look at the role and function of the Attorney General as well, and how the Attorney General is appointed. The Attorney General is appointed by the
Prime Minister, and he's selected by the Prime Minister, appointed by the Governor of Jamaica, and the advisor of the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And that is why I keep on saying this from day one, and I'm not going to cut your train of thought there, Council, that the Attorney General should be elected, or if he's going to be appointed, should be appointed, but not by the political party.
So there we have another dilemma where we seem to want law reform there, because as to the appointment of the Attorney General by the Prime Minister upon the recommendation of the Governor General, who doesn't even report to us, he reports to King Charles. So I'm afraid that even the whole appointment of the Attorney General and how the said report, how it is channeled, how it is sent, because now the Attorney General reports to who appoints them. And there's that like a Damocles sword over the Attorney General's head, that if you do A, B, and C, I mean, you could be replaced. So how fair can our Attorney General be within our system in relation to the writing of reports and sending out of information when there's a cloud surrounding how the structure of our legal system is appoints the said person?
Yes.
So there is a conflict of interest upon this political appointment. And what I can do a little bit of, because I'm a legal policy analyst, I'm Venessa McLean, legal policy analyst, and where I would look at here is under normal circumstances, where a client under normal circumstances is faced with an issue whereby an attorney is conflicted, what would that client do in terms of the legal profession and the Legal Profession Act? They would complain to the regulatory body that this person is not representing me properly. They're conflicted. They're not acting in my interest. Now, to me, the public is the greatest force in Jamaica. And as far as I can see, here it's almost as if the public is toothless. I mean, who will want to write a report to challenge the system to say, if I keep feeling that this person is conflicted and not doing for the public what they should, is it possible for a civil society group to report this matter to the GLC? And does the GLC have any powers to convene any kind of hearing or any kind of listening, or if even to come forward out of that would be some kind of recommendation to overhaul the system? Because I mean, you can't have you can't have a general rule for other attorneys, and they're all attorneys, because for the Attorney General to get this position, they have to be called to the Bar of Jamaica. They have to be registered with the General Legal Counsel for the purposes of discipline, for the purposes of ethics. Is the Attorney General behavior here ethical? I'm just asking these questions. I'm not saying it is ethical or unethical. I'm just throwing it out there that these people who are in these positions, they seem to be doing as what they feel like.
Also, what we need to ask too, Ms. McLean, why is it, we must ask this question, did the Attorney General of Jamaica say to the Speaker of the House of Jamaica, the People's House, it is not the Prime Minister's house, nor the Speaker's house, nor Mark Golding house? I
don't think you're right, because it's the Prime Minister's house, because him and his wife live there.
That is a different kettle of fish.
Well, the kettle of fish smells at the moment.
Hold on for me. It is the People's House. And I can't see where the Attorney General of Jamaica is going to tell the Speaker of the House that whatever we discuss here pertaining to the Integrity Commission report being tabled in the Parliament of Jamaica. Okay? I don't see where he's going to tell her, listen, don't discuss this. If, by the way, it was the opposition party who asked the question about the tabling of the Integrity Commission, why it takes so long.
Well, you see,
and also pertaining to the role of the IG.
You're right, because you know what it is as well. When you look at client-attorney privilege, and when a client asks for an opinion, I mean, that client asks for the opinion so that they could take actions. I mean, there's a debate as well that if there is something wrong, should the government be allowed by virtue of the advice of their Attorney General to correct themselves? Is it a situation where they want to self-correct? But there is a borderline between self-correction and covering up. So what is in that report that is it so overwhelming that you are seeking to use your family structure, the legal structure, as a smoke screen to cover up this report? What is in it? Because the opposition wants the report. And to me, it's not about them, it's about the public and the public's interest. And to me, that friends and family club that is going on in Parliament at the moment is not representing the public's interest. You know, because let me tell you about Parliament. I think the Parliament needs more diversification, because what is the population of women in the Parliament? What is the population of lawyers in the Parliament? What is the population of journalists in the Parliament? What is the population of dressmakers in the Parliament? What is the population of street vendors in the Parliament? Why is it that the Parliament seems to be of a certain type of only one set of profession? Because when you have trained people who are trained in law anywhere, they're going to use the system to their advantage. Sometimes there's a reason why they say even some lawyers don't do jury service. And I'm beginning to think, well, yes, I can see the sense of having some lawyers in Parliament, but I'm beginning to wonder if we need some more diversity in terms of the professionals, because, I mean, I just think they think lawyers act a certain way. They think a certain way. They do they're guarded by their very nature.
Let me ask you this question. From a legal point of view, we're going to come up to a commercial break soon. do the Speaker of the House of Parliament has a duty to tell the opposition what she discussed with the Attorney General of Jamaica?
We would have to check the standing orders, but because the nature of the document that we're dealing with is an opinion, and the opinion is like a legal advice, and there are certain levels of professional privilege that goes with legal advice that you can take it and make corrective measures. And so the government, they do have certain rights in terms of, because sometimes you can release information that can cause civil unrest, and it's not good for the country. So there are protective mechanisms. Sometimes it's not cover up.
So why is it, hold on there, why is it that the Attorney General of Jamaica don't come out, maybe I'm going to talk to Venessa, I don't know, don't come out and speak it publicly, that the Prime Minister of Jamaica must.
Sorry.
He can't do it.
No, because by virtue of the fact that they are the legal representative, how the canons of ethics work. The canons of ethics protects client. If I come to you as a lawyer, and I tell you my business, I'll just break it down to the layman, and I'll tell you my business, that this is the problem I'm having, and you're not entitled to go out there by virtue of the relationship with us and client confidentiality to tell everyone, because then I now can take you to the General Legal Counsel to discipline you, because you've breached the confidentiality code of ethics because of the client and attorney professional privilege. And so the government itself is an entity, and there is privilege between the Attorney General being their lawyer and the government. Now convention, sometimes there's nothing in the reports to hide or anything, so they put it out there. But in this particular circumstance, they've chosen to assert that privilege. So, and the opposition doesn't like it, we don't like it. But to me, I want to know, this integrity commission is there to protect the public, and to whatever is done in the parliament, I want to know what's in this, what is in this report. So it's tied up behind laws and privileges, and when they want to use it, they can use it. But it's the nature of the legal profession and the system, that in every system in the world, it can be like that. But it's the public. I say the Jamaican public. If this was some societies, people would be outside with placard wanting to know.
No. What you need to say as an attorney at law, maybe you can't say it.
I'm a legal policy analyst.
Yes, a legal policy analyst. What we need to say, in which modern democracy can this nonsense continue to happen more than in Jamaica?
Only in Jamaica. And that's where I'm going. That the people sit down, they have drunk every day. The weed has become the national pastime, and people are not thinking straight.
Hold on, we have a call coming in. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program here in WZB and WZOP.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you and your guest.
Good afternoon to you, my good friend.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I want to ask, are you domiciled in the UK?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a Jamaican. I'm a born Jamaican. Let's put it that way. So I've got a vested interest in Jamaica. My father is, if you know Sly and Robbie, it was Sly and Ranchi McLean before.
In other words,
Jamaican.
In other words, the PNP songs are Pupa Banya.
Yeah,
No.
in Jamaica.
That what I was trying to, that I was going to make to her, because she asked a couple of questions, and perhaps
you're breaking up. I don't know where you are, but you're breaking up. It's coming in muffled.
Yeah. Are you hearing me a little better?
A little better from Negril Point to Moran Point. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Why I asked her the question, I was thinking that she's probably not familiar with a lot of developments around the Jamaican Constitution.
She is. Wait on. She is.
Well, let me say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, let me say something to her. Number one, the Constitution that we currently have is lacking. We have all agreed on that. There's a consensus opinion from the Jamaican public that the Constitution of Jamaica was one that was imposed by the British, along with the local puppets in Jamaica, the political puppets parties in Jamaica. people like Tiaga on there, David Core from PNT, and so on and so forth. So where we are now, Madam Analyst, is that there is a move to rewrite, to modify the Constitution of Jamaica, because they plan to change to some form of a republic. Now, this is where Jamaicans come in and where Jamaicans are lacking. We are grandstanding. Jamaicans like to grandstand and chat a lot. But the action, we need to see mobilization from Jamaicans, especially in the diaspora. And some of that is going on in the UK right now. There's a particular attorney, his name escapes me. He's doing a lot of forums and so on about the Jamaican Constitution to get their input in there, which is what we need now. So the whole analysis and grandstanding about what's going on, they can't help us now. We need to be setting up movements to have an input in that deliberative process which is going on now in Jamaica. You understand? Because we understand that the constitutional system that we have down in Jamaica, as I said, was imposed by the British with our local lackeys putting it in Norman.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here in the Make It Talk program. Don't go away. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to WZOP 92.7 LP FM. The right tires for the road.
Talk program are those of its hosts and guests and do not reflect the views or opinions of the Voice of the Caribbean, INI Radio, or its affiliate stations, platforms, or its staff and management.
For more info, hit us up at
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Make We Talk program here in WZP and WZOP. Caller, go ahead.
Yes. So, Madam Analyst, where we are is that there, as I mentioned, there is a process to reform the Jamaican Constitution. But because we have bad politicians in Jamaica, they are trying to do it behind closed doors. And that you put your hands on the arrow when it said there needs to be more representation in the Jamaican Parliament that encompasses wider social sphere of Jamaica. You mentioned gardeners and plumbers, etc., etc., which is beautiful. So in that same vein, right now we have an opportunity to influence, to pressure, to pressure the politicians to do all kind of civil disobedience, to draw to the attention that there are certain strictures that we want in the Constitution that will bound our politicians to be more responsive to public opinion and public and what the public needs.
But do you have a question do you have a question for Ms. McLean?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying to you now, Ms. McLean, and I like your I love Vicky McLean, by the way. He's excellent, very excellent singer. But I don't want to digress on that. What I would implore you and others who are just new voices that I'm hearing nowadays is that, you know, we need to move from just the analytical position and quantification and go to the position where we exercise influence on our government. And we can do it whether you're in the UK, whether you're in New York, or wherever. Because we know that the politicians and the Jamaican government people, they love to pass the royalty in the developed countries.
My good friend, now I'm cutting you off. I don't have enough time, so ask the question.
No problem. I appreciate it. And it's nice to hear the young lady.
Okay, you don't have a question? Hello?
Okay, caller is very right. He made some comments about Jamaican people should go into representation because it seems we're short of people in Jamaica until the Prime Minister had to draw for his own wife to be a Speaker of the House. So we must be very short of people in Jamaica.
With all fairness, Miss McLean, I'm not taking up for anybody. With all fairness, the wife of the Prime Minister was the Deputy Speaker when Mauricia Filiberto was Speaker. And she was Deputy Speaker. So automatically she became the Speaker. What we should be saying is that, is it that the Prime Minister couldn't pick someone else from this cabinet to be Speaker?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. But as a gentleman says, but for me, when you look at the Parliament, it's like it's the same set of people and their children who are becoming politicians in our country. We are not grooming. We are grooming all the young people. As soon as they get to 18, they want to migrate to another country. They do not see Jamaica as being correctable. They don't see Jamaica as being a place that can change for the better. They don't see themselves. We have raised a very detached population. And by virtue of the social media, people just want to go to foreign and nobody wants to stay in Jamaica to do anything. Nobody wants their children to be in politics because it's such a fish market that nobody wants to go into it. But we all sit here and criticize. As the gentleman says, it's time for the average man's children. We need a new breed of politicians because these people, if you look in the House of Parliament, there's the Charleses, there's the Siagas, there's the thises and the thates. It's just like they're handing over buttons to their wives and children. Now, people of Jamaica, what is going on? What's going on? That's what I want to ask. What's going on? Is it that other people's children are not good enough? Why are we not representing? Why are we sitting there and watching shows, social media, smoking weed, listening to music? We have to be more socially aware. We care about what goes on in America, and we know about all the Trump's politics, What about what is going on in our own backyard? Who's adding their voices? You know, if I remember years ago, I said to somebody that I would want to represent, and I was shut down by every member of my family. Don't go into politics. It's the wrong place. You're going to die. They're all thieves. They're all this. They're all that. I'm saying if they're all thieves, how are we going to change it? I'm not saying they are, but that's a general consensus. How if you don't want your own children to go into politics? You don't have a right to criticize those who are there. If you don't want to go in, I say more people need to join those political parties and get involved in the process.
You are so correct. Let us go back to the whole thing of the Integrity Commission. And if we don't have an Integrity Commission to hold them accountable, until now, the Prime Minister hasn't submitted his declaration of how much money he worth.
So we have a Prime Minister who is circumventing the rules and not following the rules, or you know, he hasn't yet, and I'm sure he's given various timelines. But the state of our country, it doesn't make sense that we sit down and play as if these people are all straight and it's all been straight. We all know what go on. And you know, I want to know who will bail those cats, leaders and oppositions. I'm not for JLP, I'm not for PNP. I can tell you something about me. I was born in Tower Hill and raised in Waterhouse and grew up partially in Eltham Park, Jamaica. I went to England when I was in my early teens and went and read up to a master's in law. So I'm coming from the ghetto. I'm coming from the grassroots. I've ascribed my status. But I'm saying, who will bail those cats? Because we go away, we study, we stay there, we don't go back home. Who's going to bail those cats?
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Yes, I'd like to say something quickly to the young lady. Listen, I hear the warrior spirit in you.
The nanny of the maroon.
Yes, I would love to get a contact, because I'm also part of a movement that is trying to get another party going in Jamaica right now. And
you never tell me, hold on there now. You hold on there from the sunflowers or glass ball. Or you never tell me that you're part of a movement to form a political party in Jamaica. And I thought you were my friend.
Well, listen, I mean, I've been on this situation for quite a, you know, and I'm very concerned, as the young lady mentioned, that we're not grooming our kids for leadership. And what is going to happen to Jamaica is that, you see, our black people, we are going to be pushed out of Jamaica. You know, this is what happened. And you see who you see who they're grooming to take over that country. And so you can't have no representation inside there. So it is important. This is the land of our ancestors who fought and built Jamaica brick by brick, rock stone by rock stone, all those roads around that drive on before Chinese people come, Chinese borrowed money come down there. You understand? So it's important. That is how I am motivated from that point of view. So I would love the lady to give her, you know, if it's okay, she can give out her contact.
I want to ask him something before you go. There's something I want to ask you. You know, the political campaign, for example, the Electoral Commission, you know, it's set up under an act of parliament and law, just like the Integrity Commission. I want you to look at even the Electoral Commission, who gives funding to third parties, that even the members of those bodies, they are elected from the leading and the opposition. There is nothing in the laws to say that third parties, persons of third parties, and even to get any of the funding to start a third party, it's very onerous, the amount of criteria that you have to meet.
Yes.
So the system is set up against third parties from coming in. So how do you, as a leader, intend to deal with the legal hurdles that's been deliberately put there by the two parties in the law to keep you out of parliament? So, and then when you talk to Jamaicans about third parties, say nothing can change. Nobody else can. And then vice gonna right. I'm asking you, how this thing go?
Let me tell you.
Hold on a minute. Let us not drift away from what we're talking about, because you see that third party thing there in the parliament and so forth. That's a topic all by itself, you know. So let us.
But
But if
listen,
Mr. Holness
there is
knew that a
precedent.
third party would sweep him in when he's withholding his tax, what the documents is to give, playing the shenanigans with the House of Parliament and the Speaker, if he knew that Jamaican people were watching his behavior and that they plan to vote out him and the other party as leaders in opposition, he would behave very differently. But because
No,
it's
but
either
he's worried now. Listen, let me just pick up in here.
All right, so
What has
Flowers,
happened now?
talk like Gigi for me now.
There's a seismic shift in Jamaica's opinion, especially what we call the people, the grassroots, the man on the street. So the Prime Minister is very aware of that. He has ramped up his PR, giving away a little this here and giving away a little that here. So he's very much aware. And let me say this. And we are.
So you're saying also our Prime Minister is very responsive to we have a younger Prime Minister. I must let you know that Mr. Holness, as a younger Prime Minister, I must tell you it's not all negative because people come and they criticize politicians. Mr. Holness, I'm pleased to see a younger Prime Minister. And I do like the way he engages the public and seems to be responsive on some things, as you say.
Well, what I am saying when I say responsive, he's being cosmetic because he has no policies towards Jamaican people.
You think he has?
That is why 300,000 Jamaicans left in 300 and something thousand Jamaicans left in 10 years alone, the last 10 years. But let me say this. What I am talking about is that the Jamaicans putting fire on them, especially in the diaspora. He's on social media, he's watching, he's acutely aware. The numbers of voters in Jamaica keep going down. So they are not idiots.
But let me ask you about the last election, though. Let me ask you about this. Yeah. I was in Jamaica for the last election. The COVID was there for the last elections. And then we had an announcement from the Prime Minister that the COVID had jumped up, and then the next thing we knew, election day, because once the COVID jumps up, nobody's gonna come out for election. We all were under our beds. I was in Jamaica. I was under my bed hiding from COVID, not going nowhere to vote. But the next time I got up, the whole place was green. So I wondered what happened. Was it very tactical to announce the election, the hike in COVID, announcing the hike in COVID, and then declaring the date?
Pre-COVID, before elections, the electorate has been coming less and less to vote. You have to understand there's a high level of cynicism in Jamaica and in the diaspora about the Jamaicans for the both parties, not just one party. We're not just one party.
Yeah, come in because that's what they tell you about it.
No, but listen. Listen. Trinidad, which is our neighbor, had one solid party.
Hold on there.
Nobody could beat them.
Hold on there for me. Let me say this. We don't have enough time here. It's 1:48, 1:49 now. Let me say this to you. I heard Miss McLean saying that the people is a third party, and that's the truth. I remember when the National Democratic Movement was going around.
That wasn't a real party.
Hold on, man.
It was a start, though.
Hold on, GG.
That was not a real party.
GG. Hold on, man. Sir Flowers, hold on, man. When they were going around, Jamaicans were saying that the third party will not go nowhere. The question that we're going to ask ourselves this afternoon, is Jamaica prepared for a third party?
No.
Okay.
I as a Jamaican can tell you, they're not.
As somebody who, no, you can't, listen, you can't talk like that about the people. Because that's why,
but it's the truth, though.
That is why 2 million, let me say something to you, Miss Analyst. That's why 2 million people flee the island. So don't talk that nonsense.
We run away. And that we are good at, running away.
But,
for what the slaves fought
but that's
for.
My point.
We have run away from what our ancestors fought for.
Yes.
We keep running away.
And yes, there's a down and a positive side about that. Because those Jamaicans who run away, they are the largest inflow
let me ask you, who's going to stay
the island that keep the island afloat.
I understand what you're saying, but the government likes the remittance. They're a barrel government. I believe the government is because they pimp out their citizens
yeah, but
to
listen,
send money
don't.
back. They are
Hold
not
on, one
tilling
at a
the
time, one at a
economy.
time.
Yeah.
They are not. They are not.
covering
The
too many
government
issues.
is not fixing the economy. The only way they
Yes,
can,
we know
the
that.
diaspora of
Let's
the
let's
people
pick
are
Hold
one
on,
coming
now.
out.
hold on, one
Let's
at a
pick.
time, one at a time. Hold on for me, hold
Let's
on for me.
have one.
Let's
Let's not go all over the place.
hold on,
though.
no
We are
man.
going all over the
Hold
place.
on, no man. Let us have some order, not like in the parliament when they're cussing each other in the parliament yesterday and some fighting up here.
Parliament is an extension of the people.
Eh?
You
Let us
didn't
have
see
some
the
order.
U.S. Congress.
Yes,
You
them
didn't see
fighting each
fight
other.
when it
Yes,
goes in the U.S.
yes.
Congress.
One nearly said lick him,
Okay.
shrimp, he lick him.
Mm.
Hold on a minute now. Sir Flowers, before we go, we don't have enough time here. Before you go, you see, I feel like giving a good trouble today. You're not going to do it, you know. Gigi, you're not talking to
No.
me, man.
I'm plus I don't associate with gospel because it was another neo-colonialist.
So hold
Black
on,
man
you know.
I run down England medal and all that nonsense. No. I am a nationalist. I believe in Jamaican people. You know, I believe in a Jamaican. I believe in our self-determination, our self-reliance. I don't believe that we should be any puppet for any country. I don't care where the country is. You understand? We are a proud people. We are a principled people. You know, you understand? But going back to what the lady said, we as Jamaicans, we have to be optimistic. We can't go down the road and say, oh, the people are not this, that. It's a new generation of people out here. We're not talking about the old folk
Right.
them.
Give me 2 points in how we might start engaging those young people for the third party. How are we going to start preparing them?
We
You
don't
tell
have.
me.
Hold on there. Hold on. We don't have enough time. So in a minute or so, give me the points, please.
You mobilize the people, just like how you see a lot of people when they hear my voice on the radio, they know exactly because they have heard my message before. Years, donkey years. You know, we're not talking about now. So those people are become more and more aware. You know what happened, Madam Analyst? You know what happened to the Prime Minister wife? She come cock up herself about at one of our jerk festivals. You know what happened to her?
I heard.
Them poor out of the place.
She was. Oh,
Booed out
I
of the
heard that they play Chase Them Crazy Ballads out of town from Bob Marley. Is that true?
Yes, they did.
Yes,
Oh.
this is the first time ever this kind of protest against a prime minister, sitting prime minister's wife. Never from Jamaican nationals. The people are always sheepish. So that's why I said to you, don't give up on Jamaican people.
I have nothing, but I want to call the young people to order today. I want to call the parents
to order.
Go
go do the work.
Stop discouraging your children. I am a product of discouragement from politics. Stop discouraging your children and everybody around.
Hold on. Caller. Let's just say something to you, man. Hold on.
Everybody around me discourages me. They will do what, including packing me up and sending me out of that island, just so I don't go into anything political. You don't know what people who want to go in there, you're shut down, you're sidelined, you're bullied, you're threatened. If you're going there, them are gonna kill you because they know I'm strong. I'm strong-willed. So you go into politics, and I do feel though that we cannot leave the two. We need a third party to start with, one. And you're right, we can't give up hope. But I also feel that the other two parties, the members are aging. Some of us young people can go in there as well and see whatever. You might not change everything in your lifetime, but I do believe that the PNP and the JLP need some injection, and we need a third party as well. So I'm urging all the parents, them get on a picnic ready to start lead, because we want to come to other people country to come behave like we know we want to when there was protesting about Trump. How much Jamaicans go? You tell them to go protest about anything in their own country. They're not going to do it. Them sit down there and say, yeah, where I go with that? I remember when Nzinga King, when they cut her locks, and we went to protest, and we went to Emancipation Park, and we tried to get some of the normal people to come with us. Them say, I want to go over there. So nobody now listen. But I went over there with my friends, and we added our voice about the average Jamaican, because they're so hungry. The government it's a technique that they use to keep the people poor, keep them hungry. It's like when in England, when they had the rotten boroughs and the pocket boroughs, the rotten boroughs were so small that the MP could just go around and talk to people and give them little food. And then the pocket boroughs had more. So what they did, they outlawed this pocket and rotten boroughs and socially engineered it. So the thing is too big for one MP to walk up and down and think he can't get like a food here. So, but these people, They've studied politics. They've studied communism. They've studied history. They've studied systems. I've studied systems, so I know people can use systems to manipulate the masses.
Yes.
And what's going on in Jamaica right now is that the people are kept hungry. All they can think about when you are hungry, what politics? You can only think about boom and weed and food. People out of Jamaica are not thinking about politics because the government is deliberately keeping them that way because it suits a certain. Looking at the parliament, once they become parliamentarians, you see how they walk and how arrogant they are. They forget that it's a ministry. Being a minister is a ministry you serve. You're not there for yourself. Our politicians don't know that one bit. They're up, they tear up in them back, and the people will not cut them down.
And on that note, caller, we want to tell you thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in the Make It Talk program. We gotta go now. I just want to say thanks to Vanessa McLean.
So it's Venessa, Venessa McLean.
Vanessa McLean, yes. Thank you for calling in. And remember to all our YouTube channel, to all our subscribers in the Make It Talk program, to like, share, and subscribe on this program here. You know, before we go off, I want to tell my viewers, this isn't the last I've seen of you, eh?
No.
She will be coming back on the Make It Talk program to speak some more about the Jamaican Constitution, the role of the Speaker, and the role of the
AG,
the Attorney General. So until you hear our voice,
the role of the General Legal Counsel in discipline in the average attorneys and the government attorneys, because to me, I've never seen a government attorney being disciplined by the General Legal Counsel or acting unethical in relation to the client who's the public of Jamaica. I want to talk about that one day.
Yes, you will. And until you hear our voice again, I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you all very much for joining us on the Make We Talk program here on WZPP and WZOP, and also on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. May God bless you, and may God bless Jamaica land we love in the United States. It's a wet Wednesday afternoon. This is where we say so long.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.